Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead real quick and prove why Adam Smasher absolutely stomps Frank Horrigan. Because this is a take that has really irritated me for a while. As you guys might know, my second or third most viewed video and most commented on video is Frank Horrigan versus Adam Smasher, where the majority of people disagree with my take of Adam Smasher absolutely dogging on Frank Horrigan, which is absolutely 100% the case. And if you look at well thought out videos explaining why Adam Smasher wins, you'll find comments full of Fallout fans. And I'm going to be honest, I'm a huge Fallout fan. Fallout New Vegas is my second favorite game of all time, right behind Mass Effect 2. But Fallout fans do not know how to scale properly. They use reasoning, which is somewhat logical, but it's also very not correct. And they also don't understand basic scaling. And keep in mind, this is involving power scaling. If you want to say that it's illogical for a janitor to be a special trained Marine, then I can understand that in the real world. But in fiction, that janitor might be able to dodge lasers and punch the moon in half. So that logic doesn't really work in fiction as much as it would in real life. So right away, I'm just going to quickly debunk any massive Frank Horrigan scaling. And it mostly comes from people saying that Frank Horrigan could take on a space marine. Now, first off, official Warhammer guides don't state this. People involved in the makings of Warhammer do not state this. No one in Warhammer will ever say Frank Horrigan could be a regular space marine, which isn't true, by the way. There's absolutely no evidence to support this. He's not even going to be able to process their existence if we take cosmology to its maximum effect. One of the other arguments people will use is that Frank could have survived the oil rig explosion. Now, real quick, I'm going to show a couple pictures of me cross-referencing the term Frank Horrigan or Frank or Horrigan with the Fallout Bible, which, if you go through comments, is where people will say you can find the statement of this. You cannot find it. It doesn't exist. That's because this is a lie that people made up based on, I have no idea. There's nothing that supports the idea that Frank could have survived this. There's no statement. There's no findable statement, at least. Maybe someone heard it in a dream or something and thought it was true. I do not know. All I know is Frank, if we take him having 10 in durability, you could scale him city block level durability based off of the courier's own durability. If we take special stats into consideration, then yes, he would scale relative to the courier, even though I think the courier also dog walks on Frank. But maybe that's for another video. Maybe that's a topic for another video. If you don't think he's relative to the courier, then at most he's small to just building level, honestly. And building level, not small building level, is kind of hard to argue since super mutants in Fallout 3 are of a completely different FEV strain. Like, it's a completely different thing. Not to mention, he only has supersonic speed, scaling off of death claws, because death claws are able to react to bullets, as seen in Fallout 4. Even though there are completely other arguments that kind of debunk that as well. But you know what? I'm not going to go into it, because I'm going to let him keep the maximum of what we gave him. Let's just, for the sake of argument, we'll keep Frank at, you know what? No, I'm going to have Frank at city block, and I'm going to have him at supersonic levels of speed just to show how irrelevant it will be. And now I'm going to get to Adam Smasher. I'm going to get to his scaling. Starting off with lifting strength, as you can clearly see, David, V, and Smasher himself are very consistently into Class M. There are a lot of Class M scalings. There are also Class G scalings, but very few of them, while there are multiple Class M scalings, enough to make it consistent within the Cyberpunk universe. And Smasher, being the all-around boogeyman of Night City, who also dogs on David indisputably. He was destroying David, so let's not even try to argue that they're not relative in strength, or speed for that matter, because speed is going to be even more important. David has Class M lifting strength. V also has Class M lifting strength, being able to crush with their bare hands a special type of diamond fiber optic glass into pure dust, which is also Class M. David's Class M comes from his gravity tech, which Adam Smasher completely resists, mind you. So realistically, he can actually pick up Frank, even though he's taller, and throw him across a city. He can pick up Frank. He can casually pick up Frank and just throw him through a building. That is how big the difference in strength is. Now let's get into speed. Right off the bat, the lowest level of speed scaling we can find in Cyberpunk is Supersonic Plus, which is easily above Frank. It's not even close. We also have hypersonic to massively hypersonic levels of scaling. There's a lot of MHS levels of scaling in MHS Plus, but then you even have sub-relativistic to relativistic levels of speed scaling, with David being able to outrun speeding bullets, with him consistently able to outrun explosions, with him consistently able to move so fast that rockets and bullets aren't really even moving in his perception. Meanwhile, they're actually traveling as fast as they can. All of this is consistently within the massively hypersonic to even relativistic standards if you highball a lot of it and take the feats as they are. Now getting into the durability, thus attack potency scaling. I have two different scalings here, possibly three. I'm pre-recording this, with Smasher, David, and V all scaling to town level to large town level. These mostly come from kinetic energy calculations, which makes sense considering the speed at which these characters are moving, combined with the attacks they're performing on various foes and whatnot. This durability means that Adam Smasher can literally stand still. Frank will punch him, and then his arm will most likely explode from the difference in durability. I'm pretty sure Frank quite literally has no way to hurt Smasher. He has no way to hurt him. Smasher is faster, he's more durable, and he's much stronger. He will quite literally crush him like a trash compactor. He's going to smash him. That's his name, Adam Smasher. He's going to smash Frank. He is going to destroy him. And yet there are going to be people in this comment section that explain why Frank, with certain chems, will be close enough in speed to Smasher, or that since Frank has a 10 in speed, he's on the level of Smasher, which makes no sense. Cyberpunk and Fallout are not connected. You can't use the perk system of Fallout to justify scaling relative to a character in Cyberpunk. That makes no sense whatsoever. That is the dumbest logic I have ever heard in my 2 years on this platform. That is the dumbest logic I think I've ever heard, aside from saying, no, there is nothing else to say. That is the dumbest logic I have ever heard. Adam Smasher is not getting touched by Frank once. Adam Smasher really isn't getting touched by anyone in the Fallout lore unless you give the Lone Wanderer the Death Ray. And then, yeah, obviously, no one's going to survive that. Without that into consideration, and without giving any characters, like, massive, like, beyond years of prep time, yeah, Adam Smasher is enough for the entire verse. Even Liberty Prime, he's going to pick up Liberty Prime and throw him halfway across the city. Liberty Prime's laser isn't even going to affect him because he has high-end heat resistance scaling to characters like V and David. He is not getting hurt by anyone in the Fallout universe cooperating together. He could realistically pick up the Actually, I don't know if Class M would give him the capabilities to pick up the Pridwin. It probably would, actually, now that I think about it, given what level of strength Class M actually is. But yes, overall, I know I've been rambling for a while, but Adam Smasher is no diffing Frank Horrigan. Frank Horrigan has no tactical advantage. He has the FEV strain, so it's likely his intelligence is below average, while Adam Smasher is at least above average, as we see him described by side characters or NPCs in Cyberpunk 2077 and in the tabletop game from the 80s. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what I say. There's always going to be people who are just extremely biased. Like I was in a comment section on another Adam Smasher versus Frank Horrigan video. The guy played it out pretty perfectly, yet people used illogical reasoning or reasoning that doesn't work cross-verse to justify why Frank Horrigan wins. And they were very wrong. Frank Horrigan is not touching... Johnny Silverhand can beat Frank Horrigan. That's what I'm going to leave you guys off on. Johnny Silverhand would demolish Frank Horrigan in a fist fight. I'm going to go all the way for fist fight with this one. And in the next video, I'm going to explain to you guys why these idiots why this guy named Kakarot scales, go ahead and tag him in the video specifically to this point. I'm going to have to explain to him why this human level Umineko debunk is the dumbest debunk I've ever seen. The Okudo Sai debunk was better than this, and that was also terrible and easily rebunkable. I'm gonna go ahead and explain in my next commentary related video on why that's a terrible scaling. Even though Seo already made a great video explaining why it's wrong, but I'll go ahead and do it myself on the next commentary video. Thank you guys for listening to me ramble and yap on for 12 minutes straight, possibly longer. And please like and subscribe, and please have a good day.